All right, let's dive right into Robert Greene's incredible and sometimes controversial book, The 48 Laws of Power. We're going to break down every single law, and we have to start with the absolute foundation, law number one.
So, to really get this first law, I want you to picture something. Imagine the most amazing party you could ever throw. A night so perfect, so memorable, it basically becomes your legend. Now, what if that exact party, that one moment of incredible success, was the thing that caused your complete and total downfall?
Well, that is precisely what happened to this guy, Nicolas Fouquet. He was the finance minister for a young King Louis XIV of France, the very same one who'd later be known as the Sun King. Fouquet was smart, he was charming, and he was unbelievably rich. And back in 1661, he decided to throw a party. Now, you have to understand, in Fouquet's mind, his intentions were perfect. He wanted to honor his king. He figured that the most spectacular festival anyone had ever seen would prove his loyalty and lock in his position as prime minister. He thought this amazing display would secure his power. Oh, how wrong he was. Look, this wasn't just some get-together. We are talking about the premiere of a play by Molière, written specifically for this night. We're talking about gardens designed by the same guy who would go on to create Versailles. Every single detail, from the food to the fireworks, was engineered to just scream wealth, taste, and power. And right there, at the center of it all, was Fouquet, the brilliant, generous host. And here is the fatal mistake. While all the guests were just in awe of Fouquet's palace and his entertainment, King Louis wasn't thinking, wow, what a great finance minister I have. No, he was thinking, my finance minister lives better than I do. My own subjects are more impressed by him than they are by me. Every compliment meant for Fouquet landed like a personal insult to the king. The fallout was just immediate and brutal. Not even 3 weeks after that party, the king had Fouquet arrested. He was tried for embezzlement, using charges the king himself had actually approved earlier, and he was locked away in a fortress for the rest of his life. He died in prison 20 years later. That spectacular party was literally the beginning of his end. So what was the real mistake here? The guy was loyal, he was talented, and he was really just trying to impress his boss. Why did that lead to his complete ruin? Because he broke the very first, and you could argue the most critical law of power. Never ever outshine the master. Robert Greene just nails it in the book. You might think you're pleasing your superiors by showing off your talents, but it actually does the complete opposite. It doesn't inspire affection. It inspires fear and insecurity. And believe me, that is a deadly combination. Put yourself in the master's shoes for a second. People in power are still just people. They have egos, they have insecurities, they want to feel totally secure in their position, superior in their intelligence and charm. So when you come along and, even by accident, make them feel a little dumber or less sophisticated or less important, they're not going to thank you for it. They're going to see you as a threat, and the first chance they get, they will find a way to remove you. So if showing off your talents is a total disaster, what's the alternative? How do you actually use this law to get ahead? Well, let's take a look at somebody who absolutely got it right. This comparison says it all, really. On one side, you have Fouquet, who made himself the star of the show. On the other, think about Galileo. When he discovered the moons of Jupiter, did he name them after himself? Of course not. He dedicated them to the Medici family, his patrons, and he called them the Medicean stars. He framed this incredible, world-changing discovery not as proof of his own genius, but as proof of the Medici's greatness. So what was the result? Fouquet got a prison cell, Galileo got decades of funding and protection. Now, this is not about being a suck-up or hiding your skills forever. Not at all. It's about being strategic. It's about understanding the basic psychology of power and using it to protect yourself and even advance yourself. Okay, so how do you actually do this? Let's go through the keys. First, you practice discreet flattery. Your goal is to make your boss seem smarter than you are. A really clever way to do this is to make small, harmless mistakes and then go ask for their help. People in power love sharing their wisdom. Second, when in doubt, just make others feel important. Making your boss look good earns you their loyalty. And finally, you have to master your timing. Don't show all your cards at once. Wait until your position is secure before you reveal the full extent of your talents. Being too brilliant too early is a huge risk. You might be thinking, yeah, okay, that's great for the 17th century, but I work in an office, not a royal court. But here's the thing.
The dynamics are exactly the same. The setting might have changed, but human nature, not one bit.
So really ask yourself, where is the court in your life? Is it your workplace? Is it your friend group? Maybe even your family? Because anywhere there's a power structure, this law is in play. Let's make this super practical. At work, let's say your manager comes up with an idea, and you honestly have a better one. Don't just shoot down their idea. Instead, frame your suggestion as something that builds on their great concept. Give them the credit. Socially, try not to be the person who always has to one-up everyone and prove you're the smartest one in the room. Let other people shine. The principle is always the same. Make those above you feel secure.
So, when you boil it all down, the ultimate takeaway from law number 1 is this. Your talents can absolutely be a source of power, but if you're not careful, they can also cause your downfall. Your first job is always to survive, and you do that by making sure those above you never, ever see you as a threat. Okay, so that handles your boss and other superiors. But this brings up a really fascinating and much more personal question. If making your boss feel insecure is a huge mistake, what happens when you make your friends feel envious? Well, that's what law number 2 is all about, and that's exactly what we're going to break down next time.